when you place an order, he'll receive it. The whole time frame will be called order cycle. Okay? So order inventory and order cycle have a positive relationship. How? If the length of your order cycle increases, ultimately the amount of inventories will be increased too. Can anyone tell me why?
Sir, to meet the supply and demand.
Of course you need to meet the supply, you need to meet the demand. But if the length of order cycle increases, if the length of the order cycle increases, the amount of inventories will be increased too. Why?
Because you're not ordering for new inventory since you already have inventory locked up in the warehouse. Isn't that why?
Sorry.
Since you're ordering, since the time that you take to order has increased, so doesn't that mean that pre-existing inventory is locked up in the warehouse?
Or yes, but you can say like, as the order cycle has increased, that means the time frame increased. Suppose, let's say, previously you were ordering per week basis. Now instead of per week, now you're giving order per month. So that means as you're ordering per month, that means you need to maintain the inventories for this month. আগে যেটা 1 week maintain করতে, এখন সেটা 1 month maintain করতে হচ্ছে. That means you need to carry more inventories. তাই না? So if order cycle increases, it means if the time frame increases, ultimately the amount of inventories you need to increase too. Got the logic? বুঝতে পারলাম? আগে যেটা weekly তোমাকে maintain করতে হতো inventory, now you're maintaining for a month. So of course there will be more inventories. Got the logic?
সরি স্যার, আগে যেটা স্যার উইকলি মান্থলি বেসিসে স্যার যেটা ইনভেন্টরি আমরা ইয়া করতাম স্যার, সেটা উইকলি বেসিসে করতেছি, কারণ স্যার আমাদের মোর ইনভেন্টরি নিডেড। তাহলে কি স্যার মানে এটাই স্যার বুঝাইতে যাচ্ছেন স্যার?
আবার বলো।
স্যার মানে আমাদের অর্ডার ইনক্রিজ হয়েছে স্যার, আগে আমরা মান্থলি বেসিসে অর্ডার পাইতাম স্যার, এখন স্যার উইকলি বেসিসে পাচ্ছি, মানে আমাদের মোর ইনভেন্টরি লাগতেছে।
না, অর্ডার বাড়ছে সেটা না, অর্ডার সাইকেলটা বড় হচ্ছে। অর্ডার সাইকেলটা বড় হওয়া মানে কি? আগে যেটা আমি 3 দিন পর অর্ডার দিতাম, এখন সেটা আমি 10 দিন পর অর্ডার দিচ্ছি। সাইকেলটা বড় আমার, অর্ডার সাইকেলটা। আগে মান্থলি ফর এক্সাম্পল আমি 3টা অর্ডার দিতাম, তার মানে 10 দিন করে 10 দিন পর। এখন আমি 5টা অর্ডার দিচ্ছি, মানে 6 দিন পর।
জি স্যার, নাও আই গেট ইট।
Got it?
জি স্যার।
সো অর্ডার সাইকেলটা যখন আমার বড় হবে, the amount of inventories I need to carry more. Got it? Relationship of the cost of lost sales to inventory. If inventory cost increases, the lost sale cost decreases. Who can explain this? If inventory cost increases, the cost of lost sales decreases.
স্যার শিপমেন্ট কস্ট কম লাগতেছে স্যার, ট্রান্সপোর্টেশন কস্ট কম লাগতেছে স্যার, মানে আমরা বাল্কে সেল করতেছি স্যার, যখন আমরা বাল্কে সেল করব তখন স্যার কস্টটা রিডিউস হচ্ছে স্যার।
No.
Sir, if we keep extra inventories, the risk of losing the customers to meet their demands decreases.
Of course, very good. Yes. If inventory cost increases, that means what? We are carrying more inventories. That's why our inventory cost is increasing. So as we are carrying more inventories, that means there is less chance of meeting the customer demand. there will be less chance to what?
To run out
Lose
of
customers.
inventories. Yeah,
है
to
ना?
lose customers.
There will be less chance to lose customers. There will be more chance to meet their demand. है ना? So if inventory cost increases, the cost of lost sales will be decreased. So there will be an inverse or negative relationship. Got the logic? কেউ আছো বুঝো না এমন? Anyone? Now general relationship of product dollar value to various logistic cost. If the dollar value of the product increases, various logistics cost will be increased too. For example, packaging cost, transportation cost, inventory cost will be increased too. Who can explain? Product dollar value increases means what?
The
Suppose
product
let's
is more
say
expensive.
you are handling more expensive products. Okay, so if dollar value increases, transportation cost, packaging cost, or inventory cost will be increased too. Why?
Because the products are more expensive.
Yes. So why transportation cost will be increased?
Have to give more taxes.
It needs to be transported carefully.
It needs to be transported very carefully. You have to take a lot of precaution so that the products will not get damaged. If it get damaged, that means it will incur more cost. So that's why you try to select the transportation mode very carefully. Maybe instead of water transportation, you will be using air transportation because those are sophisticated items. Got it? Packaging cost will be increased too because maybe you will try to use some expensive materials for the packaging so that the products will not get damaged. So if the dollar value of the product increases, your packaging cost will be increased too. Same goes for inventory cost. To manage the inventories, you need to take a lot of precaution. Anna? So ultimately, if dollar value of the product increases, your inventory cost, transportation cost, and packaging cost will be increased too. And the general relationship of the cost of lost sales to transportation cost. If transportation cost increases, lost sale cost decreases. Why? If transportation cost increases, cost of lost sales decreases. That means what?
Sir, it's mean that we can deliver the product more faster and there are much possibility that the customer are getting product more faster rather than before.
Very good. If transportation cost increases, that means you are carrying more products, let's say. So if you are delivering more products to different markets, that means there is less chance of losing customers. Got the logic? If transport cost increases, cost of lost sales will be decreased because as you are carrying more products, that means maybe you are supplying or delivering more products to different channel or to different market. So there will be more available products in the market. So there is less chance of losing customers now. So cost of lost sales will be decreased. The general relationship of product weight density to logistics cost. If density increases, logistics cost decreases. Density মানে কি? Product density, weight and space ratio. For example, যেসব প্রোডাক্টগুলো খুব বড়, let's say furniture has high density because it's occupying more spaces, and this is heavy as well. You cannot carry a lot of products together because of the size, because of the weight. So if density increases, logistics cost decreases.
Sir, it's supposed to be increased, right, sir? Is that, স্যার প্রোডাক্ট যদি স্যার বড় হয় স্যার তাহলে তো ট্রান্সপোর্টেশন কস্ট তো স্যার বাড়ার কথা না স্যার, মানে স্যার শিপমেন্ট কস্ট, যেমন স্যার আমি যদি কার যদি স্যার ডেলিভারি এক্সপোর্ট করি কোথাও স্যার, তাহলে স্যার শিপমেন্ট কস্ট তো আলটিমেটলি বাড়ার কথা না স্যার?
Of course.
তাহলে এখানে ডিক্রিজ কেমনে হলো স্যার?
কারণ আমি উল্টো বলেছি, আমি দেখলাম কে ধরতে পারে কিনা কথাটা। সো ডেনসিটি, এই ফার্নিচারের কথা বলছি, এটা হচ্ছে লো ডেনসিটি, হাই ডেনসিটি না, লো ডেনসিটি। যেহেতু এটা বেশি স্পেস অথবা ওয়েট অকুপাই করছে, দ্যাট মিন্স লো ডেনসিটি। সো নাও কম্পেয়ার with the furniture with some let's say smaller items. In that case you can carry more products, है ना? So if density increases, ultimately the logistic cost will be decreased. Sounds logical?
Sir, can you explain it further? I didn't quite understand it.
Okay. Compare furniture and tell me a small item, let's say.
Sorry, apparels.
Sorry?
Apparels, sir. Clothing.
Apparels. Okay, very good. Lightweight items, apparels. So if you are carrying apparels, that means, and compare with furniture, maybe in a truck, how many furnitures you can put? Only a few, right? Depending on the size and weight. But in a truck, you can put a lot of apparels, maybe more than 200 to 300 units, or even more than 500 units, right? So if density increases, ultimately your logistic cost per unit will be decreased. Per unit cost যদি আমি হিসাব করি, ক্যালকুলেট করি, তাহলে দেখা যায় কি ফার্নিচার যে ক্যারি করছি, per unit cost আমার অনেক বেড়ে যাবে, কারণ I am carrying only couple of furniture, only few. But instead of those heavy items, if I carry lightweight items, ultimately my cost per unit will be decreased. Then if you logic বলা যায়, for example, let's say if you use any third party transportation company, before telling you the fees or fare, they will ask you about the items, about the weight, how much weight the truck needs to carry, weight এর উপর depend করে কিন্তু they try to fix the price, so ওখানে 3-4টা ফার্নিচারের ওয়েটের সাথে কম্পেয়ার করো এই অ্যাপারেলস ওয়েট, you can transport more apparels, so if density increases, your logistics cost will be decreased. That means your per unit inventory cost, warehousing cost, or transport cost will be decreased because you can carry more products. Got it?
Yes, sir, got it.
Okay. Then the general relationship of product susceptibility to loss and damage to logistic cost. If there is a risk of loss or damage of the product, the logistic cost will be increased, just same as the dollar value of the product. If there is more risk of damaging a product, the logistic cost will be increased, because you will take some extra precaution. So the higher the risk, the higher the cost. Remember this. The higher the risk, the higher the cost, because you need to take some precaution so that the products are not getting any damage. Now, a spatial relationship. To analyze your logistics cost, you need to understand spatial relationship. A spatial relationship means what? Relationship in terms of distance. Relationship in terms of distance. That's called a spatial relationship. So have a look at this example. Try to understand. A farm located at point B has a $1.5 production cost advantage over farm A. That means B has got advantage of $1.5. Since farm B produces at 7 per unit as opposed to $8.5 per unit for farm A. That means farm A's production cost per unit is $8.5, whereas farm B is producing at $7. So farm B is in advantageous position. He's saving $1.5 per unit. His production cost is less. Got it? Got the point? Now,
Yes.
However, farm B pays $1.5 for inbound raw materials. 0.6 plus 0.7. That means maybe 2 inbound logistics or transportation is coming to his base. And $3.5 for outbound movement to the market. So for inbound, he is spending 1.35. For outbound, he is spending 3.5. So total cost is $4.85 for logistics. Farm A pays 0.9 for inbound and 1.15 for outbound. So total 2.05. So B is spending total $4.85 for transportation, and farm A is paying $2.05. So who is in advantageous position?
So firm A.
A.
So from A.
Now try to compare both. Comparing production cost and transport cost, who is in better position?
Sir, A.
So suppose let's say this is A, this is the base of B. Okay? Production cost of B is $7. So let's say 7 and I'm spending 8.5. So B is saving $1.5. Now B inbound raw materials 0.6, 0.75. So let's say 2 inbound. That means coming to his base. So for this he is spending 0.6. For this he is spending 0.75. And for outbound he is spending 3.5. So this is, let's say, outbound 3.5. So in total, transport cost 0.75 plus 0.6 and 3.5. Total 4.85. Now think about A. Its inbound is 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, 0.4, 0.9 for inbound, and for outbound, spending 1.15. So total
2.05.
2.05, and B is spending 4.85. So how much you can save here? $4.85 minus 2.05. 2.8. A is saving 2.8, then A. B was saving previously 1.5. A is saving 2.8. So who is in better position?
From A.
A. Because he's saving more. So you see, even though B is saving huge in production cost, but as A is managing his transportation or logistics, let's say, very efficiently, ultimately he is saving more. That's why managing logistic cost is very important. Even though your production cost is higher, but as you are managing your transportation efficiently, ultimately your overall cost has been decreased. You're saving more than B. So now think about B. What he can do? Suppose let's say this is the market. As they are outbound, that means outbound means what? Once you're done the production, till you give the deliveries to the customer end. So outbound deliveries related to the customer delivery, then. So think about B. As his cost is higher than A, what he can do?
Lower the outbound cost by
How?
effectively operating,
How?
effectively operating, such as using vehicles that are low in fuel efficient, in low in fuel consumption.
Okay. We just can assume. We really don't know why he is paying more. Okay. So we can say maybe the market is closer to the base of A. Then, as A is paying less than B, maybe we can assume the market is very closer to the base of A. So in that case, B cannot do anything. As the market is far from his base, of course his transport cost will be higher than A. So what he can do, he can establish a warehouse here. Okay, so if he can establish a warehouse beside the market, ultimately his customer service will be improved, because as per the market demand, he can supply from his warehouse. So he just fill the warehouse as per the capacity. One logic. Another logic, maybe depending on the demand of the market, he was using the trucks. So maybe sometimes he is using the less capacity of the truck, less truckload shipment, we say. Less truckload shipment means maybe he's not using the whole capacity of the truck, because maybe market demand is not that much. That's why he's not using the full capacity of the truck. If I want to use the whole capacity of the truck, maybe I will be supplying more to the market. Got it? So if he establish a warehouse here, he can use the full truckload capacity, because he will try to fill the whole capacity of the warehouse. So in that manner, he can save some cost too. তাই না? So that's how he will be beneficial at some point. Got the logic?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, techniques of logistics system analysis. Sometimes to analyze your logistics cost, you can use these two separate techniques: short-term analysis or long-term analysis. Short-term analysis we call this static analysis. Long-run analysis we call this dynamic analysis. So what is short-term analysis? We'll try to analyze the logistics cost for a certain period of time with a certain quantity. In short-term analysis, we don't do any mathematical calculation. Within a limited time frame, we try to look at the cost of different cost heads or cost centers. Or if we need to compare two different systems within a certain timeline, we just look at the cost in both the system. So the lower system we offer or we get, we just choose that system. So that's a static system, a static run or short-run analysis. But in the long run, we take into consideration more period of time, a long period of time, let's say, and more outputs. In that case, we need to do some calculation. So that's dynamic analysis or long-run analysis. Have a look at this example. Try to understand. An organization is currently using an all-rail route from its plants and associated plant warehouse to its customer. At the plant warehouse, the chemicals are bagged and palletized and shipped by rail to the customer. So this is their current system. They are using rail route. They are using rail transportation to transport the products from their plant warehouse to the market. Okay. Proposed second system would use a market-oriented warehouse. The chemicals would be shipped from the plant to the market warehouse and then packaged and sent to the customer. So instead of shipping all goods by rail, the organization would ship them by barge to market warehouse, taking advantage of low bulk transportation prices. Then after bagging, the chemicals would move by rail from the warehouse to the customer. বুঝলাম কিছু? First system ta bolchi, the system they are currently using, they are using rail transportation, transport the products from their plant warehouse to the market. But second system tara bolche, they will try to use a warehouse which will be beside the market or closer to the market area. And to reduce cost, they will try to use barge. Instead of rail transportation, all the way they are using now barge. That means water transportation. Barge তো চিনি আমরা তাই না? Barge যে ছোটখাটো এই যে আমাদের নদীতে দেখা যায় barge. Normally barge কি ক্যারি করে? এই যে বালি তালি সব ক্যারি করার জন্য barge ইউজ করি আমরা normally. But you can carry the products too. তাই না? To reduce their cost, they are trying to use barge transportation from the plant warehouse to warehouse, market warehouse. And after bagging the chemicals in the market warehouse, they are using rail transportation. So they are using two transportation here. তাদের plant থেকে warehouse তারা use করছে barge, water transportation. Then from the market warehouse, supply the products to the market, they are using rail again. So two different system. তাই না? একটা হচ্ছে currently they are using, আরেকটা হচ্ছে proposed system. Got it? Questionটা বুঝলাম আমরা? Anyone? Confusion? Okay. So have a look at this example. So this is the example. This is the system 1 they are using currently, and system 2 they are trying to propose. So there are separate cost centers or cost heads are given here, and the cost of two systems they have identified.
স্যার প্রপোজ যে সিস্টেমটা সেটা ইমপ্লিমেন্টেড হয় নাই স্যার এখনো স্যার।
এখন প্রপোজ করছে তারা, হ্যাঁ এখন ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করা
তাহলে
নাই।
স্যার ওখান থেকে তো কোনো কস্ট ইনকার হবে না স্যার।
হ্যাঁ
ওখান থেকে তো কোনো
যখন একটা সিস্টেম প্রপোজ করব তখন আমি প্রপোজ করা মানে কি, আমি চেক করব না কোথায় কি কস্ট যাবে আমার।
স্যার ওটা তো স্যার রিসার্চ আর অ্যানালিসিস এর কস্ট স্যার ইনভলভমেন্ট থাকবে স্যার, কিন্তু অপারেশনের তো কোনো কস্ট থাকতেছে না স্যার।
কস্ট গুলো দেখো, আমি যদি সিস্টেম 2 প্রপোজ করি, সিস্টেম 2 ইউজ করি, তার মানে আমি ওয়্যারহাউস ইউজ করব। ওয়্যারহাউস যদি ইউজ করি তাহলে আমার স্টোরেজ এন্ড হ্যান্ডলিং কস্ট কি হবে, ইনভেন্টরি কস্ট, ক্যারিং কস্ট কি হবে, অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেটিভ কস্ট কি হবে, ট্রান্সপোর্ট কস্ট কি হবে। আই উইল ট্রাই টু ফিগার আউট। আমি যদি ফিগার আউট করতে না পারি তাহলে আমি কিভাবে কম্পেয়ার করব সিস্টেম 1 এর সাথে। আমি যে কস্টই ফিগার আউট করতে না পারি তাহলে আমি কিভাবে কম্পেয়ার করব যে ওই সিস্টেমটা বেটার নাকি ওই সিস্টেমটা ওয়ার্স।
ও জি স্যার,
তাই না? আমি যদি ওই সিস্টেমে যেতে চাই তাহলে নিশ্চয়ই আমাকে কস্ট গুলো বের করতে হবে,
কস্ট বের করতে হবে জি স্যার।
তাই না? So this is the system 1 they are currently using, and system 2 they will try to propose. So in the short run analysis or static analysis, which system is better? Which system is better?
So system 1.
System 1. Why?
Mainly because there are no fixed costs associated with it. So a short-term solution, they can come up with a short-term solution and less investment to fix the problem of higher costs they're having.
So just have a look at the total cost. Of course, we'll choose the lower one because system 1 if you use system 1, of course, it will incur less cost.
Sir, it will incur less cost, but if we implement another system, sir, and if we upgrade it, then it will be much efficient and it will lower our overall cost, isn't it, sir?
Which one?
Sir, the second one.
Second one, মানে shorter analysis মানে কি বলছি? Shorter analysis হচ্ছে within a limited time frame or considering a certain output, we will just try to analyze. So the lowest one we will choose always. Of course, তাই না? তোমার যেটাতে কস্ট কম তুমি সেটাতে যাবা।
স্যার লোয়েস্ট ওয়ান তো এক্সিস্টিং করতেছে স্যার, ওটা আপগ্রেড করব জন্যই স্যার সেকেন্ড ওয়ান স্যার।
ওটা তো আসছি পরে, আগে শর্টার অ্যানালাইসিসের কথা বলি। শর্টার অ্যানালাইসিস আমি বলবো কি, যেটা আমার লোয়েস্ট কস্ট আমি ওটাতে যাব, তাই না? So of course my conclusion should be I should use system 1. I should not go for system 2 because currently my system is giving less cost. If I try to propose second one, of course my cost will increase. So why should I use that system? Right? So within a certain timeline, if we calculate this or if we consider the cost head or cost centers, we'll say system 1 is beneficial for me. So why would you try to propose second system?
Sir, if system 1 is fulfilling the needs, why implementing second
That's the
one?
question. If system 1 is giving you less cost, why would you propose second system?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there can be two reasons. As I said, we are considering system 1 within a time frame or with a certain output. So you see, currently you are producing 50,000 pounds of output. So what if your demand increases in future? So you never know. If you try to increase your output, whether system 1 still will give you less cost or not. Right?
Yes, sir.
So that means if you try to improve your customer service in future, maybe you can consider
Plan
system
B.
2.
Yes, sir.
But again, yes, you need to do some calculation before choosing system 2.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You are just assuming, what if my demand increases?
Yes, sir.
If demand increases, of course, I need to increase my output. Right? So if I try to increase the output, maybe the situation or the cost heads can change. Right? So try to do analysis.
And if
See,
the analysis
one, I
shows,
try to figure out all the costs separately. First, total cost देखो, system 1 total cost, system 2 total cost. Then fixed cost. 4,200 system 1, system 2 4,800. Then variable cost 1575 and 1150. Now variable cost per unit. এটা কিভাবে বের করবা? আমার variable cost system 1 এর জন্য 1575 আর আমার আউটপুট হচ্ছে 50,000. So 1575 divided by 50,000. The variable cost per unit বের হয়ে যাবে. চেক করে দেখো, ক্যালকুলেশন করে দেখো, ক্যালকুলেট করে দেখো এই নাম্বারটা আসছে কিনা দেখো, চেক করে। ক্যান ইউ প্লিজ টার্ন অন ইউর ক্যামেরাস কুইক? তোমাদেরকে বারবার বলতে হয় কেন? দিস ইজ কোয়াইট বোরিং টকিং টু এ ব্ল্যাক স্ক্রিন, তাই না? আমি একটা স্ক্রিনের সাথে বকবক করে যাচ্ছি। আই এম নট শিওর যে ওই পাশে তুমি শুনতে পাচ্ছ কিনা। তো চেহারা না দেখলে আমি কিভাবে বুঝবো?
so 3.5.
এই নাম্বার সাথে মিলে ভেরিয়েবল কস্ট পার ইউনিট 0.0315 আর 0.0230। কথা বলো, কাম অন কুইক। এই নাম্বারটা আসে কিনা সেটা আজ করছি আমি।
Sorry, sir,
Can you
I
listen to
couldn't
me?
understand your question.
Are you listening? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So এই 0.0315 এই ফিগারগুলো কি আসছে? হ্যাঁ বা না বা কিছু একটা বলো। Yes or no?
Yes, sir, আসছে স্যার। আমি যে নাম্বার অফ আউটপুটটা খুঁজে পাচ্ছিলাম না, বাট ওখানে দেখলাম 50,000 আউটপুট দেওয়া, সো আসছে স্যার।
So output is 50,000. So 1575 divided by 50,000. 0.0315 1150 divided by 50,000 0.0230 আসছে, তাই তো?
Yes, sir.
Now to analyze the situation we will be using linear trend equation. The formula of linear trend equation. Just a moment. So we will be using y is equal to a plus bx. এই ফর্মুলাটা আমরা ইউজ করব রিগ্রেশন ফর্মুলাটা y is equal to a plus bx. So y is the output. Okay. So y is the output. That means total cost should be equal to fixed cost plus variable cost per unit. That means system 1 হচ্ছে total cost is equal to total cost কত আমার?
Sir,
Sorry.
42,000.
Fixed cost plus variable cost. 4,200 plus 0.0315x. 0.0315x. This is system 1. Dana? So if we try to compare between these two systems, so that means system 1 is equal to system 2. System 1 is equal to system 2. So system 1 আমি ক্লিক করতে হবে 4,200 fixed cost plus variable cost per unit. 4,200 plus 0.0315x. 0.0315x is equal to system 2 4,800 plus 0.0230x. Now try to find out x. So this x is the quantity and y is the cost. Point 0.0315x minus 0.0230x is equal to 4800 minus 4200. That is কত আসে? 0.0315 minus 0.0230.
Sir, 0.0085.
0.0085.
0.0085.
85x divided by 600. So x should be
Sir, 705
70,588.
88.23.
So that's the quantity. So what does it mean? X is 7,588. So this is the quantity units. So you see, at this specific point or output, both the system will give you same result. System 1 is equal to system 2. When they are equal, your output rate should be this. That means if you produce exactly 70,588 units, in that case you cannot choose which system gives you better result. But if you are producing less than this amount, in that case system 1 is better for you. Once you cross this output, in that case you should go for system 2. Got the logic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear? বুঝতে পারলাম?
Sir, can you repeat please?
At this
Sir,
quantity,
sir,
at this quantity, because x is this. আমরা analyze করলাম কি system 1 is equal to system 2. Both systems are similar. In that case, this is the quantity. So at this quantity, both the system are same. That means you cannot choose. If you produce this quantity, you cannot choose which system gives you better result. But if you are producing less than this, system 1 will be better. And if you're producing more than this output, system 2 will be better. Got it?
স্যার আই হ্যাভ এ কোশ্চেন স্যার আমাদের মানে স্লাইডে এখানে ফিক্স কস্ট মানে সিস্টেম 2 তে দেওয়া আছে 2400 বাট আমরা এখানে আবার ম্যাথ কস্ট মানে দেখছি 4800
Sorry.
স্যার আমি বলছি যে এখানে মানে কোশ্চেনে মানে সিস্টেম 2 তে দেওয়া আছে মানে টেবিলে দেওয়া আছে 2400 আর এখানে যখন আমরা ম্যাথটা করতে যাচ্ছি তখন সিস্টেম 2 তে লিখছি 4800
ফিক্স ওয়ার্ড দেখো দুইটা আছে, 2400 উপরে একটা, নিচে আরেকটা দেখো ফিক্স ওয়ার্ড আছে।
সরি
Got it?
ইয়েস স্যার
Okay. So if I ask you which system is better, so your answer should be if you are producing less than this amount, system 1 will be better for you. If you are producing more than this amount, system 2 will be better for you. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's dynamic analysis. You have to do
Sir,
some
sure,
calculation to find out.
সোজা হিসাবে যদি আমি বলি যদি আমরা এক্স এর মানটা বের করলাম সেক্ষেত্রে তো আমরা ওয়াই এর মান পেয়ে গেলাম এখন যদি দেখি যে
এখন তো y2 পেয়ে গেলা,
হ্যাঁ
এখন তুমি পুট করো। হ্যাঁ,
ইনপুট করলাম কিন্তু যদি ওয়াই বেশি হয় এবং যদি সিস্টেম 1 বেশি হয় এবং সিস্টেম 2 কম হয় তাহলে ভালো হচ্ছে সিস্টেম 1
যেটা কস্ট কম অফ কোর্স
Yes.
সেটা তুমি চুজ করবা, তাই না?
ওকে ওকে
তো সিস্টেম 1 যদি কস্ট কম দেখায় তাহলে সিস্টেম 1 এ যাব আমি।
ওকে আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড
গট ইট?
ইয়েস স্যার
তা x এর মান যদি বাড়তে থাকে তার মানে দেখা যাবে y2
বাট
বেটার আমার জন্য, তাই না?
ইয়েস
ওকে। Now, cost center. Sometimes you can analyze the logistic cost in terms of different cost center. For example, এই যে আমরা cost head গুলো ইউজ করলাম আগের এক্সাম্পলে, এই ট্রান্সপোর্ট কস্ট, ওয়্যারহাউজিং কস্ট, ইনভেন্টরি কস্ট, ম্যাটেরিয়াল হ্যান্ডলিং কস্ট অথবা প্যাকেজিং কস্ট, whatever it is, these are called separate cost center. Okay, so depending on the cost center, sometimes we can choose which system is better. For example, look at the next one. Analysis of total logistics cost with a change to a higher cost mode of transportation. Cost of rail or cost of motor. দুটার কস্ট দেওয়া আছে। হ্যাঁ, নরমালি আমরা যেটা করি উইদাউট ডুইং অ্যানালাইসিস, আমরা যেটা করি কি যেটা ট্রান্সপোর্টেশন কস্ট কম আমরা সেটা চলে যাই, তাই না নরমালি? সো ইউ সি কস্ট অফ রেল আর কস্ট অফ ট্রান্সপোর্টেশন। কস্ট অফ রেল আমার পার ইউনিট দেখাচ্ছে আমাকে $3 আর কস্ট অফ মোটর 4.30. So without doing any further analysis, what I should do? I would go for rail. তাই না?
Yes, sir.
If we try to analyze all the cost centers, তোমার inventory cost, তোমার packaging cost, warehousing cost, cost of lost sale, যদি compare করে দেখো তো total cost দেখা যায় রেলে $15 per unit, মোটর দেখা যাচ্ছে 13. So even though transport cost what Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry,
Yes.
I was disconnected, I guess. কি sound আসছে? Okay, যেটা বলছিলাম, so if you overall compare the cost of rail and cost of motor, if you consider all the cost centers, you see motor transport cost is less than the rail, है ना? So in that case, I should go for motor transportation, even though my transport cost is higher than rail. But overall, I can save more. Got it? So sometimes, depending on the cost center, if you try to analyze the cost of the cost centers, ultimately, you can compare which system gives you better result. And again, another one. System 1, you are using 3 warehouses. System 2, you are using 5 warehouses. Normally, without doing any comparison or without doing an analysis, I would say I will go for 5 warehouses. Dana? Because maybe there is more chance I can satisfy the customer demand. I've got more warehouses. But if you try to compare all the cost, transport cost, inventory cost, warehousing cost, cost of lost sales, you see, system 1 total cost 3,300,000 and system 2 3,600,000. So which system is better? Using 3 warehouses, Dana, instead of 5. So like this, you can compare which system gives you better result. Comparing with the cost center. Got it? Now, nodes and links in the logistic system. Nodes and links. Nodes is a pretty basic thing. Nodes such a fixed point. It can be your base. It can be your production house. It can be your warehouse. It can be your office or retail outlet. So these are some fixed points. So these are called nodes. And the links, the way you try to connect those nodes, those are called links. So when we do logistic analysis, we try to use these nodes and links. Got it? For example, you see here W is the warehouse, P is the plant, M is the market, and we are trying to connect those dots, those nodes. I mean, the way we'll connect, those are called links. Okay. So have a look at logistics channels. We are using, these are nodes and the links we are using, trying to connect them. So logistics channel, depending on the pattern of your business, depending on the size of your business, your logistics channel can be different. Sometimes it can be very simple or sometimes it can be very complex. Have a look at the simple logistics channel. From the supplier's point, we are trying to collect the raw materials. We are doing the production in the manufacturing plant. Then we are just giving the deliveries to different customers. So that's pretty basic or simple logistics channel. Have a look at the multi-echelon logistics channel. If there are more players involved, the logistics channel will be a bit bigger. That means there will be more operation. For example, here we have added warehouses, 2 separate warehouses. So as per the warehouses, our decision will be changed. Once we are done with the production, sometimes some of the products will be giving to the first warehouse, some second warehouse. So depending on the customer demand or customer area, we will supply from those warehouses. So this is called multi-echelon warehouses. Now have a look at a complex logistics channel. This is more complex because there are a lot of players involved in it. For example, let's say if you are producing multiple product portfolios, if you have multiple product portfolios, that means if you're producing more products. So for those products, of course, the raw materials will be different. So you need to collect a lot of materials from different suppliers. So there will be more suppliers here. Then as you are handling or producing different products, that means your manufacturing plants can be different. And those can be in different location. And from those manufacturing plants, you will be supplying or delivering the products to different warehouses in different locations, let's say. From those warehouses, your wholesalers or retailers will get the product as per the requirements of the customer demand. Then from those wholesalers or retailers, your customers will get the product. So there are more players involved in it. It can be even more complex. If you add distributors, if you add dealers, the size of the channel will be much more bigger. So these are called complex logistics channel. Normally, most of the companies, bigger companies, they maintain these complex logistics channel. Got it? So that's it for today. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
confusion or any question?
No, sir.
Nothing at all. Okay, so let me take your attendance then. Ariful Islam, Muhammad Ariful Islam, Muhammadul Hassan,